How much harm do you do to your brain when you don't drink enough water? Hi, I'm Bernice Hunt, and I am a brain health specialist. I work with women just like you who are starting to notice a few memory issues, and I help you to stay sharp so that as you age, you can still travel, have fun with your grandkids, and experience new adventures without missing a beat. As a wellness coach for over 12 years, one of the primary things I consider with my clients is having a discussion about staying hydrated. Now, most people know about, dry skin and constipation and joints and all of those kinds of things. But a lot of us don't take the time to consider our brain and the importance of hydrating our brain. Did you catch my last video? I had a video a few days ago, and it was on water, and it talked about the benefits and the consequences of drinking water, that it has to do with your brain. And so today I want to keep going with that, and I want to talk about the importance of knowing how to drink water and how much water is enough to drink, and also about your signs of dehydration and the damages that can be done to your brain. So research has already told us that a mere 2% deviance in the amount of water that your body should have will cause your brain to not function efficiently. There's a noticeable decrease of function in your brain if it's only 2% less than it should be. That's not very much, guys. And so we really need to be on point, or do our best to stay on point when it comes to hydration, because the more hydrated you are, the more well hydrated you are, the better your brain can function. Did you know that regarding headaches, they're telling us that as much as 40% of headaches are occurring because of dehydration? And we hear all the time about people with headaches and migraines and all of that. And what if it's just you're not drinking enough water? So that's one of the things to consider, because water leaves your body in 4 different ways. It can leave your body through breathing, in and out breathing, through sweating, of course, when you sweat, through urination, which I'm sure you know, and also from elimination of feces. Did you know that 75% of your bowel movements contain water? There's 75% water in your feces. And so if you're dehydrated, there might be a problem, okay? All told, during the day, you're probably going to lose about 80 ounces of water in one day. That's about 5 bottles. We speak in bottles these days. That's about 5 bottles of water that you're going to be losing during that day. And guess what? Your brain can't store water. So if you're losing water, you're going to have to be replenishing that water. And they say if you go more than 4 hours at a time, you're going to have some problems and issues to start to occur. They say don't go more than 4 hours without rehydrating, drinking something. And for those of you that drink less than 4 cups of water a day, less than 4 cups, that's 32 ounces. So we're talking about 2 bottles. If you go all day and you're seeing that you still have that 1 bottle of water and you haven't got through it yet, or maybe you got through one of them but you didn't get through any more, you are mildly hydrated. And when you're mildly hydrated, there's a lot that's going on with you. We're talking about fatigue, tiredness, exhaustion. Okay, we're talking about mood swings, irritability. We're talking about headaches, like I said before. We're talking about sleep issues. We're talking about bad breath, because you don't have that much saliva in your mouth. So we're talking about bad breath. We're talking about rapid, accelerated heartbeat. We're talking about shallow breathing. There's a lot of things that are going on. Memory loss. There's a lot of things that are happening when you are mildly dehydrated. And if you're drinking less than 4 cups a day, that's you. Okay? And like I said, the water cannot be stored in your brain. You're going to have to replenish that water. And the daily intake that you require depends on different variables. Okay, one is your age. They say that children and the elderly are most at risk. Okay, men need more water than women. So we're talking about your gender, your weight. The more weight you have, the more surface it needs to be covered, the more places the water needs to go, if you hear what I'm saying. So the more weight you have on you, that affects your amount of water as well. You also have to take in account other things too, like the climate. If you live in a hot, humid climate, or if it's a hot, humid day, you're going to have to take in more water. Your stress level, you're going to have to take in more water. You're going to have to take in more water if you exercise, if you have a lot of activity going on. Take in more water. If you have medical conditions, it can go either way. You need to check with your doctor. Sometimes with medical conditions, need less. They don't want you to take as much water. So you need to speak with your doctor about that to see how much water you should be getting every day. It makes a difference. Alcohol consumption. If you're drinking alcohol, you're drying yourself out, guys. You need to replenish. Definitely drink more water. So how much you drink depends on a lot of things. But most researchers are telling us that you need to have a goal of half your body weight in ounces. Okay, half your body weight in ounces. Now, if your body weight is such that half your body weight in ounces is too big of a number for you to do it right now, there is a rule of thumb that you can go by, and that's called 8 and 8. That means 8 cups within 8 hours. Okay, so you can start there. And they say that may not actually give you the optimum level of water that you need, but it's a good place to start for most people. The good news is that 20% of your water can come from what you eat. You have water-rich fruits and vegetables, you have soups or whatever, you're having to have water in them. That's going to help give you some hydration as well. So that's going to be added onto that 8 and 8, okay? So there's some things you need to consider because you need to have intentional intake of water. Now, chronic dehydration, like I said, is a problem with kids and the elderly more than anything else. Because with the elderly, as we age, we get weaker in our ability to determine if we're thirsty. This thirsty signal weakens in us, and we may not even know, or you may forget more about drinking water. And so that becomes a problem with children. You know how children are. They're running everywhere. Plus, a lot of the liquids that children choose, may not be the best kind, and they may actually be dehydrating, especially if they have a lot of sugar in them. They're not giving you the lubrication and the hydration that you need. So you need to watch with those age groups, especially, and also with chronic dehydration, it shrinks your cells. I know you don't want to believe it shrinks your brain cells, but it will shrink your brain cells. They have a special term for it. I think it's called osmotic stress. It actually pulls that out and it shrinks your cells. And you do not want that to happen. They had some research going on where they were testing the elderly, and they found that those that did not drink, sufficiently drink water and were chronically dehydrated had smaller brains. Okay, so you need to keep that in mind as well. Okay, so you don't want to go more than 4 hours without drinking something, but they say sipping is preferable to chugging it. You know how we might do? We might forget about the water, so we grab the whole bottle and we try to just chug that whole thing down to make up for lost time. And that is not the most effective thing because it has a greater tendency to just run on through you, as you know. Especially if you're on an empty stomach, if you haven't eaten, it has more of a tendency to run on through you instead of to being absorbed in your body. Okay, so you want to try to sip throughout the day. Like every 20 minutes or so, you want to just have little sips of water throughout the day, allowing that water to get absorbed in you and not just go in one way and run out the other. Okay, you might be able to tell with the color of your urination. We'll talk a little about that in a minute, but if it's clear, that is a sign that it may not be absorbing as efficiently as it should. Okay, that may not be effective, and you may want to add. They say you can drink the water and have some fruit with it, or eat something with it, or drink water before a meal or right before a snack or something to help it mesh in with the nutrients and help it get absorbed into your body rather than just pass right through. Okay, you want that pale yellow color, not that clear color. Okay, all right. So you also need to know that if you are lacking water, your body will prioritize where that water is going to go. Okay, and where it's going to go is to your vital organs, and it's also going to help maintain your blood pressure. Your blood pressure, so it's going to help your regulate your blood pressure, and also go to your vital organs like your brain, which is a good thing that's going to your brain because you need your brain. However, that means other places are not getting the water that they need. So there, it's at the detriment of some of your other organs. So we talked about constipation because it's pulling that water out of that digestive system. Dry skin, it's pulling that water. The cartilage in your joints, even your eyes. So you want to make sure you stay hydrated because your brain's going to take as much as it can, as much as it needs, if it's available, as much as is available. And not only you're going to have a problem with the brain if you're still 2% lacking, you're also going to have problems in other areas because it pulled what it needs to pull. So you need to be aware of that. But here's the good news. The good news is that you can rehydrate your body within about 2 hours. So remember I said try not to go more than 4 hours without drinking something. But if you notice some of the warning signs of dehydration, you can make a conscious effort by sipping periodically, but make a constant effort to get more water in you. And within 2 hours, you can rehydrate your body. So that is the good news. So if you are breastfeeding or pregnant, if you're dieting, if you're in a hot climate, like I said, if you're doing intensive workouts, okay, if you have a chronic health condition and it's okay with your doctor to do, you want to increase your water intake, knowing that if you slip a little bit, that if you make a conscious effort and within 2 hours, you should be able to get yourself back on par, which is a good thing. Okay. But remember, you want to sip it and not chug it. You want to drink it with some food or something. You might want to try the infused water. If you put the fruits and the vegetables in your water and let it absorb in there, it gives it flavor. Plus there's some nutrients now in it that may help you absorb the water through your body so it just doesn't just run right through you. Okay. So slow and steady as she goes. All right. So there's definite warning signs that show you that you are possibly dehydrated. I'm sure you know a lot of them. You know about the dryness of your skin. You know about your lips, chapped lips, or your lips being dry, your mouth being dry, those things. You know about that. You know about your urine, if it's dark colored, if it's concentrated. Okay, if it's smelling, all right. Am I getting too graphic for you? But those are signs that you are dehydrated. Okay, also cramped muscles are a sign that you're dehydrating. Like we talked about the rapid heartbeat, shallow breathing. Okay, those are your body's telling you that you are dehydrated, and so you need to get on that. But then your brain also has things going on. Because dehydration, like we said, can affect your mood, it can affect your memory, it can affect your lightheadedness, get you dizzy, lightheaded, headaches, all of that, your focus, all your attention, all of those things can happen in your brain, and you don't want that going on because that is not a good thing. And over time, it can do a lot of damage. So the bottom line is, don't get dehydrated. Be conscious of drinking water continually throughout your day. Set a goal for yourself. Infuse the water or have the water. Get water-rich fruits and vegetables, all of those things to get yourself hydrated, because it is your brain that you are supporting as well as the rest of your body by doing that. Now I have a handout in my research library on the warning signs of dehydration. If you're interested in that, the resource access is free. You just have to go to my website, keepyourbrainsharp.com, and click on the research library, and you have access to all of the handouts from various videos and whatever that I've done. And I have one on the warning signs of dehydration. This is video number 220. Don't get dehydrated, because your brain's destiny is in your hands.